All right, what up? What up? What up? What's popping? What's good? Your boy, Mr. Locario. Bad boy, the dating game. What's good? What's popping out there, people? What is good with you? All right, so let me make sure. Let me again double check. Make sure the levels is good. Game was good. All right, the levels is nice. We gonna get it in. We gonna get it in today. All right, so what's popping, people? What's going on? Hush H, you was here early. Yes, sir, was popping. V Side was good. What's going on with you? Man, what's popping? We did the dope ass live stream yesterday. What up, Cardell Turner? Shout out to everybody that was on that live stream yesterday. Shout out to my dude K Zaggin, Steve the Dean, EO, Afi, my dude Miles Cunningham. Man, we was going in. So if y'all didn't see that, you gotta definitely check that shit out. Later. What up, Robert James? Cardell Turner was good. So make sure you guys get those likes up as soon as you come in. This one right here, man. I'm about to go in. Damian Forbley was popping, or Forby was popping. What's going on? So today I'm going to be talking about why red pill content is making you scared of women. You know what I'm saying? This shit is making you scared of women. What up, Eugene? What's going on? Elroy Jetson was good. Solo TV 84 in the building was popping, bro. What is popping with you? So yes, I gotta talk about this red pill content, for a second, and why it is, making you scared of women, right? Actually, let me keep the phone lines off right now, and I'm gonna put the phone lines on later. When we get to the phones, whatever. What up, D Weez? King Ken was good. So, why is red pill content making you scared of women? See, first of all, let's talk about what is the red pill content. The red pill content is basically, the content that's out there that's supposed to be teaching you about female nature. You understand the reality of women and how women act, how women are going to be, how women are going to be dealing with you in the dating game and just relationships, right? And so you have a lot of red pill content creators, and some of whom that I watch and I enjoy. You know what I'm saying? Because they give good content. The problem, though, this is the problem with a lot of the red pill content. What happens is, even though a lot of the stuff that they're saying is true in certain regards, what's being left out is the other side of the coin, or the other perspective when we talk about dealing with women and all this other shit, right? So a lot of, red pill content creators are going to talk about, women being hypergamous, meaning they're going to, try to jump up or bump up to the they call the bigger, better deal or whatever, right? What a Black Book Basis was good, bro. Aaron B was popping. So they talk about hypergamy. They'll talk about, women just kind of basically using men, or women just being on some bullshit, which a lot of it is true, right? The problem is this, though. The problem is this. What happens is guys, they listen to all this stuff. So even, dudes be talking about Me Too movement, sexual harassment, false rape accusations, all these different things, which happen in reality, right? Happens in reality. But what happens is that the way that it's delivered in a way where it's kind of like how the news delivers information sometimes, where it's very sensationalized. So do false rape accusations happen? Of course. But a lot of it is sensationalized. I'll just give you guys that link. Hold on. No, just whatever. Anyway, it's sensationalized. Are women hypergamous? Yes, but it's sensationalized. Right? Because I want you guys to ask yourself a question. Think about now, I'm just saying, think about how many women you've messed with. Just think about how many women you messed with, whether you went on a date with them, whether you had sex with them, whether it was a chick you was trying to get with or whatever it is. Think about how many women you've messed with. Now think about how many women your friends have messed with that you know personally, right? Just think about that. So think about how many women you messed with and think about how many women your friends have messed with. Now, how many of you guys have had a false rape accusation? I'm sure some of y'all probably had it, but what I'm saying is, how many of you guys had a false rape accusation based off of the number of women you dealt with? Some of y'all probably have never had a false rape accusation. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys know other guys who are your friends or family who that's never happened to. So again, I'm not saying it doesn't happen. What I'm saying though is that it's sensationalized. But what goes on is that because it's so sensationalized, you hear all this content and it makes you scared to fuck with women. You understand what I'm saying? Makes you scared to deal with women. Right? How many of you guys have approached a woman and she has ran to the police and said that you sexually harassed her? Seriously, think about it. I want you to think about that. How many of you guys have approached a woman in the street and she has claimed you sexually harassed her and got the police on you? I want to know how many of you guys. Right? Also, how many of you guys have been accused of a Me Too allegation? How many of you guys? I'm just saying. How many of you guys have been accused of Me Too or know someone personally that had to deal with Me Too? And the thing is, Me Too situations really apply to the works situation, and it mainly applies to guys who were in power in most cases, and them fucking with chicks in a certain way the chicks didn't like, and then those women bringing charges against those guys. So when we talk about Me Too, that doesn't even apply to most of you guys. You understand what I'm saying? It doesn't apply to most of you guys. So again, like I'm saying, it's not that these things don't happen. What I'm saying is how many of you guys has this happened to personally? You understand what I'm saying? How many? How many of you guys have known a dude that happened to birth? Now, and I'm telling you this. I've known guys who were in situations like this, right? But it's rare. And usually what happens is that if you are cautious and you know how to navigate when it comes to dealing with women, there are times when you may not have to even worry about the shit. You understand? Also, understanding the women that you're dealing with, you're not even have to worry about a lot of the shit. Now, again, you got to always be cautious when you're dealing with chicks. Shit goes down. But what I'm saying is don't get caught up in the sensational aspect of it, because this is what's scaring you. And then what happens is that this affects your game. Right? Now, another thing too is this. You know, what a lot of the red pill content creators don't really talk about is, the aspect of the game where, or I should say, where you're going to fall into these sort of situations. So let's say, for example, we talking about hypergamy, and dudes is like, oh, I'm scared to fuck with chicks because she's going to be hypergamous and I'm going to like this girl and then she's going to kick me to the curb and get with a better guy. Right? Okay. So understanding that, right? Just, just understanding that aspect that happens, right? One thing you got to understand is that when you're really dealing with women, when you're actually in an interaction with a chick and you have a chick's mind and she's attached to you, it's harder for her to want to leave. Now, again, any woman can leave you at any time for any reason, but it's more likely that she's going to stay and stick around because you have her attached to you. She's emotionally attached to you. You have her mind. So you're not going to be with some chick for 2 years who's in love with you, and then she's just going to drop you one day for some random dude she met yesterday. You understand? If she drops you, that means that y'all shit wasn't really tight in the first place. Ness says until Chad comes along. Oh my goodness. Hilarious. This is what I'm saying. This is what's scaring you guys. You're like, oh, Chad is gonna come and take my girl. Well, that's more black pill shit. But it's I guess that could seep also into the red pill too in certain situations. Right? Now I know somebody who's part of the the red pill community is going to come on here and say, Miss Locario, man, shut the fuck up, man. You don't know what you're talking about, bro. You don't understand the red pill and blah 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 blah. This is what always happens. Right? But what I'm saying is that the content that a lot of you guys are fucking absorbing is scaring you. And it's scaring you because most of y'all don't have real life experiences dealing with multiple women. You understand? Because if you did, you would understand that these things occur, but you would also understand that it's not as crazy as people make it seem to be. It's just like if you were, it's like watching a hood movie. You understand? It's like watching a hood movie. You watch a hood movie. Let's say you are a person who lives in the suburbs and you've never been to the hood, right? So you watch a hood movie and you see niggas getting shot up all day. You see a bunch of crazy shit going down. You see in drive-bys, all this other shit. So you like, God damn, I don't ever want to walk in the hood. You understand what I'm saying? Because you think as soon as you come outside, you're going to get shot. You understand? So it's the same type of thing with this type of content is that you hear this stuff. Yes, this stuff happens, but it's not to the extent that people want to make you believe. You understand? See, a lot of dudes who gravitate to a lot of the red pill content are guys who don't really have that much experience with women. This is why dudes go through that thing they call red pill rage, where they so mad and upset about understanding certain aspects of female nature because they're like, oh my God, I can't believe women are really like this. They're not sugar and spice and everything nice that I thought. And so you go through that red pill rage, right? But a lot of the shit is scaring you because you don't have experience dealing with women. And if you had experience dealing with women, a lot of the shit that scares you, you would realize doesn't actually happen to you. You understand? Because look, I've had sex with hundreds of women, dated thousands of women, right? And I would say maybe twice have I been in a situation where it seemed like it was an issue where, because like I was actually with one of my boys once and we was at a spot and it was a girl that I was dating, right? So me and her, we've been hooking up for a few months. And so she was there with her friend and they were at her house. So me and my boy came to the crib. So of course I'm chilling with the girl I'm fucking with. So then my boy started flirting with the other girl. Now, mind you, we're all in the living room together, right? So she had like this futon and like another couch. So me and the girl is on the couch, the one I'm fucking with, and my boy and the other chick is chilling on the futon. So me and the girl I'm with, we touching each other, kissing each other, whatever. And my boy's flirting with the girl. Now, mind you, the girl jumped on top of him and sat on top of him and started kissing him, right? So she starts kissing him, and they, getting all touchy-feely, kissing each other, whatever. And I guess since we were both in front of each other, the girls felt kind of weird or whatever. Because the girl I was with, even though we done smashed a bunch of times, she was like, I don't want to do all this in front of them, right? And so we was going to go in the room. But then what happened was the girl that my boy was dealing with, at a certain point, she was like, oh, I gotta head home, blah, blah, blah. So they didn't really get to do nothing. So she was leaving, right? And then my boy was like, yo, I gotta bounce or whatever. Right? So the chick that I was fucking with, I stayed with her. We was fucking around a little bit, and then I left afterwards. Next thing you know, the next day, I get a call from the girl that I'm dating saying that her friend felt uncomfortable in the situation. Right? And so it was hilarious. So what happened was, I said, what you mean? And then she was like, oh, my friend felt uncomfortable because she felt like your friend was being too aggressive. And I said to my friend, I said to the girl I was dating, I said, wait a second. You were in the same room with me seeing your friend jumping on top of my boy, right? And she said, yeah. She's like, I know. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about, right? And then so what happened, long story short, is that we talked to the girl or whatever, and she was just basically in her feelings about some other shit, and then she fucking made it to where she was blaming the fucking my boy for some other shit, even though she was the aggressor in this situation, right? So that's like one of the times where it was closest where that type of shit happened, right? Now there was another time where I was chilling with some chick and we hooked up, and then we was hanging out again or something like that. And then her friend was at the same place he was hanging out at, and we was just chilling, you know what I'm saying? And so we was chilling, just shooting the shit. I had left, and then the girl that I hooked up with, she started coming at me all funny style because she thought I was trying to flirt with her friend, which I wasn't actually. Like if I was flirting with her, I would have been like, yeah, I was flirting with your friend, but I wasn't flirting with her friend. I just came through, we was chilling for a second, I bounced. So she hit me up talking about, oh, I don't like the way he was acting and this and that. And so she was saying a bunch of shit that she thought I was doing, but I wasn't doing. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? So I translated that to, damn, like, what if I was in a situation, a sexual situation, and a girl is interpreting the shit that I was doing, but I wasn't really doing shit. You understand? So that made me think when that situation happened. But those are the only two times, and that was really nothing. Like within my whole life of dealing with women. Was a time with my boy where the girl said, oh, she thought he was being too aggressive, but she jumped on him. And the other time when I was chilling with that girl I hooked up with, and she thought that I was flirting with her friend, even though I fucking wasn't. And in both encounters, it was the chick interpreting certain shit the way she thought it was happening, but it really wasn't happening that way. You understand what I'm saying? So I say that to say that a lot of the stuff you guys are worrying about, yes, the shit does happen, but do not fucking, put that fear in your heart. You feel what I'm saying? To the point where you let this content stop you from doing shit. You feel what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. Now, Another thing though that I find hilarious, and I didn't want to get started on this, but and after I say this, we'll get to some calls. But I didn't want to get started on this. But let me get my phone real quick. Hold on. Oh, shit. Get my phone real quick. Okay, we got enough. I got enough power in here. But what I wanted to say is this: is that another thing about the whole red pill content that is funny to me, and it's laughable, is this whole thing about, like women and body counts and fucking, I'm sure you guys heard this thing about like, women store the DNA of every guy they slept with and all that other shit. So you have guys who, believe this type of stuff. What up, Coolers? He says, Game King's free. You have to pay. Now you got to pay, bruh. You got to pay. But yeah, I'm sure you guys heard this. I'm sure you heard the women store the DNA of every guy she's ever slept with. They've had articles floating around the internet about this shit. Or that, if a woman has a high body count and all this other stuff, that's gonna affect how she deals with dudes and all this other stupid shit. Right now, this is the thing. I've been doing some research because I was like, let me do some research. Let me see. Let's get to the bottom of this. Now, see, what's weird about this is that I'm doing research, but at the same time, I take a lot of this shit with a grain of salt, even the research that I find, because stats and research and, all these other things usually depends on a few things. It depends on the company that's doing the research. So if you go on a website and you see a certain story about a specific topic, it's like, okay, who's this company? Who's the person that did the research? Who's the doctor? Or who's the scientist that's studying this? Where are they from? What's their motives? All this other shit you got to take into account. You understand? So what a lot of guys do is that, they'll say, for example, they'll say that, they'll say that a chick is going to have a lot of male DNA in her if she is fucking a whole bunch of dudes, right? This is what they say. K-Zach is like, don't get me started on these pair bonding niggas. This is what they say, right? Now, what happens is that there's a lot of misinformation. So from the research, right? What it says is that it's true that women will have male DNA in them, but what the falseness of this is that it's not from them fucking a whole bunch of dudes and dudes coming up in them and all that other stuff. You understand what I'm saying? So there's a thing called, and I talked about this before, there's a thing called microchimerism. Okay? Microchimerism. Which means that it's supposed, I think the chimera is like a fictional, what up, Joe Blast? It's like a mythical character that has many different like forms or some shit and has like a little bit of a dragon and a little bit of this, whatever. So the name comes from like some mythical fucking creature type shit, right? Now, that's what the chimera is. So microchimerism is basically, small little cells, right? So women will have small little cells of, of male DNA in them, but it comes from, this is what the research is saying. Now, again, I'm talking about the research. The research is saying that it comes from the DNA from a woman's fetus. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly, Ray Arrows. After she has the baby, the DNA that's in her. You know what I'm saying? That male DNA. Now, what happens is that same woman, let's say she had a son. can also have a daughter after the son, and that daughter can also get that male DNA from that previous son. You understand? So this is where the whole thing about women will have male DNA in them, that's from that type of shit, not from sperm, not from like, and if you want to be technical about it, if you want to be like ridiculous about it, you could say that if a guy comes in a woman and he gets her pregnant, then of course his DNA is going to be coming, in her because she has the fucking kid. But what guys are saying is, because this article saying the woman gets the male DNA from every dude she has sex with, which is false. You understand? Because they'll say that the sperm goes, this is the thought, is that the sperm goes in her and it lives in her forever. So now she has his DNA. You understand what I'm saying? But what they don't talk about is that sperm dies. Sperm dies within 3 to 5 days. So how is it in her forever? Huh? Like, this is what I'm saying. So sperm dies within 3 to 5 days. How is it in her forever? I want to know. Somebody, correct me if I'm wrong. Make sure you guys get the likes up, hit that donate button. Correct me if I'm wrong. You say you thought sperm died sooner? Probably. But I'm just saying that it fucking your shit dies. Now, what I want to do is this, because from all the research that I was doing, I found this website called verifiles.org, and they had an article that said, no, a man's DNA will not live forever in a woman's body after they have sex. Right? Now, this is the thing. This article summed up a lot of the research that I was doing. So what it did was it broke this. I'm going to read some of this for you guys. Right? And I'm going to break down what the shit they're talking about. Right? So they have a quote, and then they say if it's true or not, and then they tell you the facts. Right? So let me go to what the quote, and I'm going to talk about the facts. So it says, a research by the University of Seattle found the presence of genetically distinct male cells in female brains. Now they're saying that this is true. They said the fact is a 2020 research by scientists from the University of Washington, Seattle. Washington found male cells in the brains of women tested for the experiment. The unique finding of the research is the possibility of fetal microchimerism, which is what I was talking about, right? In a woman's brain, or how a mother's brain acquires male DNA while bearing a male fetus. You understand? Explode, you said it's a bit laggy. You guys can see me? Everything good? Because on my end, it's looking good. On my end, it's looking good. Right? Now, the next thing it says, the next quote they have is, if a woman has sex with a man, the man's DNA is left in the woman and lives inside her forever, the research was able to prove. Now they're saying that this is false. Right? So they said the fact is a University of Washington research never mentioned sexual intercourse as a cause of male microchimerism in women. Of the millions of sperm cells which may enter a woman's vagina during a sexual intercourse, only a few will be able to go near the egg cell. The unsuccessful ones would either die immediately or live for only up to 3 to 5 days. You understand what I'm saying? So basically what they're saying is that you know, the sperm ain't gonna live forever in the chick, right? Now, another thing that you probably heard is that, and this is the quote that they say. They said that when a woman gets pregnant, the fetus in her womb would carry other male cells. Now they're saying this is false. They said the fact is a fetus only develops after one sperm cell of a man successfully fertilizes a woman's eggs. Once a sperm penetrates the barriers enclosing the egg cell, a membrane surrounding the egg automatically closes and becomes impenetrable, making it hard for other sperms to enter the egg. You understand? So what that means, because so some guys, they believe that, you know, there's other male cells that's going to be, you know, in the fetus. But what they're saying is that one sperm cell from that guy is going to get to that egg, and no other sperm can get in because it's going to be impenetrable because that one sperm got to it. You understand what I'm saying? Now, this is another quote they have. It says, a male leaves more of his DNA in a woman the more he has sex with her. And so when the woman ovulates, the egg she produces contains more of other DNAs. So they're saying this is false. I'm going to say that again. They said a man leaves more of his DNA in a woman the more he has sex with her. And so when the woman ovulates, the egg she produces contains more of others' DNA. So they're saying that's false. Now they're saying the fact is only the genetic material inside the one sperm cell that was able to fertilize the egg would be carried by the human embryo created by the fusion of the two. So basically, again, they're saying that you know, there's not going to be multiple fucking you know, DNAs in the shit. You understand what I'm saying? And actually, they said that there was only, I think, 2 times in recorded history where 2 different sperm cells, I guess from 2 different guys, was able to really get up in there, right? Okay, so this is another one. I got a few more that is saying right here. They have a quote that says, when a sperm cell enters a woman, it swims until it hits a wall, then seeps into her flesh. Okay, they said, this is the quote. They said, when a sperm cell enters a woman, it swims until it hits a wall and then seeps into her flesh. And they're saying that is false. The fact is, they said a sperm cell has no special powers to drill holes through thick walls of the vagina, cervix, or uterus. Hence, it is quite impossible for it to seep into a woman's flesh. Right? So they're saying that this is false because they said human sperm cell is genetically designed to fuse with a human egg cell only. It has no special powers to drill holes through thick walls of vagina, cervix, or uterus, making it quite impossible for sperm cells to seep into a woman's flesh. You understand? Costas, are you not a virgin? What are you talking about? I'm just saying. I got a few more here, then we're going to get to some calls. I got a few more here. So the quote is, if a sperm cell enters a woman through the mouth, it gets into her nasal areas, behind her eyes, and even her inner ear before it enters her bloodstream and collects in her brain and spine. Right? This is the quote. They're saying if a sperm cell enters a woman through the mouth, it gets into her nasal area, behind her eyes, and even her inner ear before it enters her bloodstream and collects in her brain and spine. Now they're saying that this is false. They're saying this is false. right? They said the fact is sperm which enters the female human body through the mouth are very unlikely to survive beyond a few minutes, as enzymes present in the saliva have the capability to kill them. I'm saying it again. It says sperm which enters the female human body through the mouth are very unlikely to survive beyond a few minutes, as enzymes presented in the saliva have the capability to kill them. You understand? And then they also added that cells cannot possibly travel beyond the oral cavity, and even if they did, the microenvironment of the eyes, ears, nose, brain, and spine would not allow sperm to survive through them. You understand? I'm just showing you guys what the research is saying. Okay? Now this is I think that's pretty much it. But this is what I'm saying, guys. Do your own research. Mr. Wright said if you can get STDs from having sex, it wouldn't be impossible for the DNA to be transmuted. Also, does make sense if you think about it. But this is what I'm saying. What's the DNA that's being transferred? Because if I have a condom on and I come inside the condom, what DNA is being transferred? Right? Because what happens is that if you ejaculate in a woman, right? Even if you ejaculate in a woman and it doesn't penetrate the fucking egg and it doesn't do anything, your sperm dies. Your boy Mar, explain it. I want to hear it. The sperm dies. So how is it there forever? Because they said first that the articles are saying that a woman retains DNA from every guy she has sex with. If the guy has a condom on, what DNA is she retaining if the DNA we're talking about is the sperm? Then on top of that, if the DNA we're talking about is sperm, the sperm dies 3 to 5 days. You understand what I'm saying? Now, also what's interesting is that they also said that there actually is no scientific proof or no scientific studies that show the shit that we're talking about as far as the sperm affecting the DNA and all that other shit. Like there's actually no scientific study on humans that shows that. You understand what I'm saying? Exactly, K-Zagan. K-Zagan said, I did a vid explaining research was done on prairie voles regarding pair bonding. You cannot equate rodent mating habits with those of humans. Exactly. Because when we talk about the pair bonding, we talk about all of this shit. They've done studies on, because even when I was looking up the stuff about DNA for affecting it, they did studies on like flies or some shit. You understand what I'm saying? But this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to get the phone lines open. Let me get the phone lines open. Hold on. Let me get the phone lines open. Let me get them phone lines open real quick. Hold on. Let me see what Mr. Wright's saying. Hold on. Wait. You said people don't realize how serious sex is. I think society is taking sex very lightly. There's a lot of things that have not been discovered. What's so serious about sex? I want to know what's so serious about sex. I would love to know. Let me make sure. Hold on. Let me make sure the Skype is on what it needs to be, because I got to make sure the audio and video settings is right so people can call in. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Make sure you guys get the likes up. Hold on, I think we good. I think we good. Hold on. You.
Yo, K's Dagging, bro.
What's popping, fam? What's going on with you?
Hey, I just had to call in real quick. Guys are funny, man. Because you read the stuff that you read, right? Basically, with debunking all these myths that niggas have on YouTube. Okay, and then I said what I said about the Prairie Bowls, and then Cops is like, well, those what you guys are talking about haven't been backed up by real scientists. It's like you don't know. You know what I'm saying? And it's like whenever dudes get their little bubble burst, you know what I'm saying? And because dudes want to believe all this bullshit, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Talking about on YouTube, they want to believe it so much. Even when you try and see, these niggas don't do no research. You know what I'm saying? But here, I did some research. You did some research. We're making videos talking about what we found. Now, and as you said, dudes can take it with a grain of salt. But we're not only are we actually doing research, but we're actually living life dealing with women for real.
Exactly.
Goddamn virgin. So I'm trying to figure out how you even got an opinion on women at all. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean no disrespect, Cosmo. I gotta be real, bro. You a virgin, bro. If you get you some ass, you should really just stay in the break down and listen.
That's what I'm saying. Because again, like I said, all I'm doing is some research. And so I'm actually looking for the shit that says all the DNA that every guy and woman sleep with, she gets his DNA. I'm looking for those things, and everything I came up, I must have been on like 20 or 30 websites looking this shit up, and all of them were saying the same thing about microchimerism. They were saying that look, sperm dies within 3 to 5 days. It can't penetrate, and they said, and there was even one that said even if a woman had a cut in her vagina and the sperm went into her bloodstream through that. They were saying that her actual, system usually would flush that shit out. You understand what I'm saying? Like it would kill that shit. So, and they said that the vagina is a self-cleaning thing anyway. You see what I'm saying? So if the sperm is in there and it dies, that shit self-cleans its shit out. So it's not going anywhere in her fucking in her cells, because the point of the sperm is to only go to the egg. That's the design of how our bodies work. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
let me just say this, because I wish guys would just use a little bit of intelligence. When you talk about pair bonding, what is pair bonding? Basically, it's an emotional connection, emotional bond. Okay? When you emotionally connect with a woman, you connect with her mentally, not vaginally. Emotionally connect with a woman to a pussy. That's not the way that shit works.
Right.
See, dudes want to bring everything back to sex, and they want to make it seem like, well, if a chick is a virgin, then you have a better chance of having a stronger bond with her than it is a chick who maybe slept with 5 or 6 dudes. None of that shit is true.
Exactly.
I want you guys to understand. I want you guys to understand this. Women who have a different bonding, a lot of times they have some type of trauma in their life. A lot of times it's going to be sexual trauma, rape, molestation. Those are the women that are going to have more trouble, quote unquote, pair bonding, psychological issues from sexual trauma.
Right.
Chicks who out here willfully choosing to sleep with dudes, they ain't got no fucking trauma. They want to do it. Like they're being forced to do it. Guys need to stop. Man, this shit is so fucking frustrating because they keep trying to. They make sex everything when it comes to women. It's just a physical act that feels good. The real main purpose of sex is to procreate. That's it. And it just so happens when men got together, we're supposed to do this to make some babies, but this shit feels good. You know what I'm saying? And that's all it is a physical act that feels good. If dudes really want to get an emotional connection or a bond with a woman, if you know how to vet women properly, you can find that in the correct woman. But you got dudes out here who are too moved and too enamored by a woman's beauty. You know what I'm saying? They fixated and focused on that, and they never get an emotional connection or bond with a woman because they don't know how to vet women.
Exactly. And the thing is, dudes be thinking that just the actual act of sex, they think that it takes a toll on chicks. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
It's not the actual act of sex. What actually takes a toll on women is the experience, because you could have had a woman who who dated, let's say, just sake of argument, hypothetically speaking, you could have had a woman who dated 7 dudes and they have sex with none of these niggas. You understand what I'm saying? And if all 7 of them, or let's say 6 of them at least, or whatever, treated her bad, or she had fucked up experiences with these dudes, when she gets to you, she's gonna have a fucked up experience with you too, because she got trust issues, she got all that trauma from all those relationships, and she ain't even have sex. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like dudes just be like, no, I'm just saying it's just funny that dudes think that it's just the sex, but like you said, it's, a lot of the insecurities stem from the sexual situations when it comes to men. So they want to believe that, oh, well, if a woman has all this sex, that means that she's gonna be hard to deal with or fucked up. No, if she had sex with those guys, but she had bad experiences with those guys she had sex with.
Thank you. Thank you. So when we talk about verbal abuse and mental abuse and physical abuse, that's the shit that fucks women's heads up. So like you're right. So when they get to the next dude, they're very dysfunctional because they came from dysfunction.
Right.
That makes it hard to connect with a woman because she's fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But it has nothing to do with sex. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All the time. It's like dudes are so goofy, and it's because they're so inexperienced and they haven't really experienced enough shit. You know what I'm saying? And then these dudes watch too many goddamn YouTube videos.
Because look, I'll put it to you like this. I've been to swinger parties. I've been to, sex parties, orgies, all that other shit, right? Guess who's at swinger parties and orgies and sex parties? Couples. How did that fucking happen? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you got all these couples at swinger parties and sex parties. So if it was where you can't pair bond with a woman who fucks a lot, how in the fuck is these dudes coming to these sex parties and having their wife have sex with all these dudes and they still with the woman?
Exactly. And a lot of guys don't understand, a lot of them have very good marriages.
Exactly. Okay? Right.
It goes back to the sex shit. They have very good marriages. They have, in some cases, they have better marriages than people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because what they understood, they came to the realization that monogamy is not natural, and instead of being in a fake committed relationship, let's just go ahead and just do what we want to do and have fun with our lives. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. And see, again, and a lot of these women who be at these fucking sex parties, like there was a woman I hooked up with, and her husband, she told me this, and this was the first date we were on first date. I hit it on the first date, right? So we were chilling, and she told me that she was at a sex party with her husband, and she had sex with like 6 dudes that night. You understand what I'm saying? And her husband was fucking like a bunch of other girls. You understand what I'm saying? And they've been together for like, I think 20 years, and they got 3 kids.
Yep.
You see?
They got a wonderful marriage, and she would never see for none of y'all niggas.
Exactly.
Because they have a great marriage, and she's able to do what she wants and get joy out of it. He's able to do what he wants, and they mutually benefit from that particular situation. A lot of guys don't understand that shit, bro. One dude was talking about, sex is serious. No, y'all motherfuckers take it serious.
Right.
That serious. Women don't even take it serious like I do.
Right.
But that's all I got. I'm gonna let somebody else get a call in.
All right, bro. Appreciate the call, my brother. We got to do another live this week, though. I'll hit you up.
Oh, yeah, do that. I'm out at you.
All right, peace. Yes, my dude, K's. I'm telling y'all, come on, man. This shit is like, if you're thinking logically, guys. You understand what I'm saying? If you're thinking logically, hold on. Yo, what's poppin'? Who this?
Hey, what's going on, McCarr? This is Apollo calling AT in the chat.
What's good, fam? How you been?
All right, chilling, man. Yeah, I was going to say that live stream last night with y'all, man. That was some fire stuff, man.
That's what's up.
But yeah, just one calling about the topic, like you said, the red pill joint. I remember in college at Penn State University with a friend of mine personally, we all went out, drinking. We had a girl come over that was at the party with us. And we all went out drinking, and it came back and he smashed. We were all there. And then the next day the police came, and the girl had said, "Oh, he What ended up happening was she was embarrassed because she had sex with him willingly. He didn't date rape her. And because all of us were there, and even though I didn't go to that school, the other people there did, you now would kind of know, oh, she gets down like that. So her friends convinced her to, you know, kind of say, oh, you were drunk, he date raped you. Ended up not going anywhere because she, you know, admitted she was just embarrassed. But it's like, I can understand, at least from that point, for a minute, it had me shook. You know, we're kind of dealing with girls. It's like, oh, man, I don't want to do that. But I just know from that point on, I never deal with drunk chicks. Like, if they're drunk and trying to hook up.
Oh, yeah. And see, and that's what I was saying earlier. I was saying that, see, a lot of this stuff, usually you end up being in certain situations based off of how you're moving beforehand. You need to recognize certain things. You understand what I'm saying? You need to it's like, so if I'm chilling with a girl and I see she drunk, I'm not fucking with you, period. You understand? If I'm dealing with a girl and she's wishy-washy, like, oh, I don't know if I should do, I'm not fucking with you. If I'm dealing with a girl who if I'm talking to a girl and she has, this is why, you know, guys be talking about shit tests and all that other stupid shit. When a chick is being on some nonsense, I don't want to deal with her, because what that means is if I do deal with her, I'm dealing with her with the knowledge that this chick is, you know, she's all over the place. And then because she's all over the place, that could cause me to be in that situation where that type of shit might happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly. And then the other thing you were talking about was like, you know, when people call in, it's like, oh, girls, you know, they can't bond, or like you said, having a girl's mind. It makes me think back, like, how do dudes in prison have women down for them for years? They can't have sex with them because they have he has her mind.
Exactly. Facts.
Or like a pimp. How does he get a girl to sell her body, give him the money? He has her mind.
Right. Exactly.
It seems like a lot of these guys, you know, it's like, oh, because I guess one or two girls that, you know, didn't want to get with him that they like, now all of a sudden, oh, she can't pair bond because she has a high body count. Or no, oh, they're all messed up. It's really, it seems like, because one or two girls rejected them they didn't like. Now they're upset, so all of a sudden it's the women's fault. They can't pair bond. They slept with too many guys.
Right.
It just seems really ridiculous,
man. No, that's a real talk. It's like a lot of these dudes, you know, unfortunately, you know, they don't realize that when they're actually dealing with a woman in real life, you understand what I'm saying? When they're in a real life situation, when they're actually doing things that are, you know, a normal everyday, I'm chilling with this girl, I'm seeing what shit is about, I'm feeling her out, I'm doing all this other stuff. They don't realize that, like, real life things come into play. Because there's internet shit, there's fucking, you know, social media shit, there's ways to spin shit and make shit seem cool and make shit seem sexy and make shit seems you know, funny style or whatever. But when you get deep down into the nitty-gritty of the reality of dealing with women and doing certain things, you start to see what's actually happening versus what you're hearing. So this is what I'm saying, like, dudes need to cross-reference what they're hearing and what they're experiencing. Because a lot of dudes, the reason why they believe all the shit that they hear is because they aren't experiencing anything. So all they have to experience is the shit they hear. And so they go off of that, and then they start to move in the game with that knowledge. And this is why I'm saying that, you know, when I talk about the red pill content makes you scared, is that, you know, they make them scared because, you know, the content is scary to dudes because they have no experience. If you had the experience, some of this would be laughable to you. You understand what I'm saying? So it sounds crazy because you don't have the experience, but if you have the experience, the shit would be laughable. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it reminds me of this whole COVID-19, the way to beat it, make it seem
like exactly
outside, you were going to die.
Right. Exactly.
That's another reason, like you said, experience and stuff. That's why I follow guys like you and ARC, you know, K-Zag and Miles EO, because as soon as I heard the experiences you talked about, it's like, damn, I've been through that same thing or something very similar, or I was in a situation where my boy did this or that. So that's how I knew it's like, okay, let me mess with y'all guys because y'all know what you're talking about because I've been there. If I had never been there, how do I know what you're talking about or somebody else is talking about if I don't experience it?
Right.
So one last thing I just wanted to, ask real quick as far as like I'm trying to think with we're dealing with chicks and like if you're casual situation with girls, how do you feel about like going out if it's just like a fuck buddy or casual situation? Should you feel like going out with them is cool, not cool, or just depending on the situation with the girl?
So you're saying that if you're on some hooking up shit, should you be going out and doing other stuff?
Yeah, because like is that a you think deal breaker? Not deal breaker? Is that giving her too much relationship type stuff?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It depends on what you do, because what you do defines the actual relationship in her eyes. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. And so, for example, if you just keeping it fuck buddy, then it's okay. It's like, okay, cool, we fuck, right? I see you when I see you, and that's it. Like, she come over your crib, you have sex, she goes. You go over her crib, you have sex, you bounce. But as soon as you start putting it into, oh, hey, let's go to the movies, or hey, let's go to this thing, then now you're dating. Now this is a person you're dating. It's not just a fuck buddy situation. So the thing is, if you do that, if you go back to just trying to be a fuck buddy, that's going to cause problems. So you have to make sure that you actually want to, because going from a fuck buddy to a girl you're dating is an upgrade. You understand what I'm saying? So you can't upgrade her and then go back to, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, you can, but what I'm saying is that there needs to be, it needs to be a continuous thing. So you can't go back and forth all the time. So you can't have her on some fuck buddy shit this week and the next week taking her out, then the next 2 weeks have her fuck buddy, and the next week do it. Has to be, we fuck buddies like this, and then I may change you and upgrade you to dating. But then now we're actually dating. Now, let's say you've been dating for like 7 months, and then she start acting funny, then you could downgrade her back to a fuck buddy. You see what I'm saying? But it can't be something you're flip-flopping, every few days. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, that's what I'm talking about right there. Not flip-flopping. Just like if, let's say y'all been steady, hooking up for 5 months, just sex, and then, it's like, hey, you know what, I'm going to hit out to the movies. You want to roll with me? And, something here and there, but she's proved that, after like 5 months of straight fucking, go out to a movie here and then, a dinner there or something like that. But it's not flip-flopping all the time. It's like it just stays consistent.
Right, yeah. If it stays consistent, then you good. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, whenever you're making that switch, you got to stay consistent for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's what it is.
All right, man. So I want to chop it up for a little bit. I always appreciate the info as usual.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man. I'm holla. All right, peace. Later. All right, let me get my dude Chrislyn to call up. I'm waiting for Chrislyn to call up. All right, Chrislyn, I'm waiting for you to call up. Remember, if you guys give donations, if you give a donation, then you're going to get a guaranteed call. All right, Chrislyn, we need you to call. If you don't call in the next 2 seconds, I'm going to have to take another call. Yo, what's poppin'? Who this?
Hey, it's Fire.
Who's this?
It's Fire. It's Fire. We called it that time.
What's going on?
I don't like the topic you're talking about, man. I don't like it, man.
All right, so then watch something else. All right, let me get Chris. Is this Chrislyn?
Yes, it is.
What's going on, bro?
Not much, man. I got a question for you. You did a video on don't believe a woman's word, right?
Yeah, I was saying
Sunday, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to women, when it comes to approaching women, right? Women often say they like to use, quote unquote, they put their defenses up. Like if they don't, let's say they don't like a guy and they say, oh, I have a boyfriend and all that. Now, wouldn't it be more easier for women to just tell the truth?
So wouldn't it be more easier for women to tell the truth than say they have a boyfriend? And you say wouldn't it be easier for them to say they're not interested than just to say they have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is this: it would be easier if dudes wasn't so thirsty. You understand what I'm saying? So what happens is sometimes women will say I have a boyfriend because just saying no, I'm not interested, right? That means that the guy may say, well, come on, yo, like, you know what I'm saying, let's make something happen, give me a chance, we could just be friends, but they'll do all that other extra shit. So saying that you got a boyfriend, that she has a boyfriend, usually, not all the time, because dudes will still be thirsty, usually sort of dies down all that other extra shit that goes on when a dude can't take no for an answer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
so okay.
Right.
When you get into that, doesn't that go into like seduction almost? I know that's not seduction, but most guys think, quote unquote, that's seduction, if I'm correct, right?
So you're saying if the girl is like, I got a boyfriend or whatever, should the guy still try to seduce her?
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say to you, Mr. Lucario, a lot of cats out there, when a woman says, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," and what you said that, "Oh, we can be friends and all that," quote unquote, they're trying to seduce the girl to be with them. Now, I'm on the opposite end. I'm like, if the girl's not into you, move on. But most guys don't think like us. They think like, maybe there's a slight chance that I could get her. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, and that's the thing. They could, if they want to go down that route, there's a chance they could get her, but usually the chances are low, because if let's say the girl actually has a boyfriend, right, that she actually loves and respects, ain't nothing really gonna pop off in that situation in most cases, right? Now, two, let's say she doesn't have a boyfriend, but she's lying and says she has a boyfriend just because she doesn't want to talk to you. That means that her interest is medium to low, or she may have no interest. You know what I'm saying? So either way, you're dealing with a woman who doesn't have high interest. So now, if you do try to seduce her, you can make that happen, but your chances of getting with her are, it's not as high, because she, you know what I'm saying, she's already trying to brush you off. You see what I mean?
Right.
So that's what it is. So dudes could try if they want. I'm just saying that a lot of times what happens is unless you're good, see, what dudes don't understand about seduction is that you have to, unless you're good at seducing women, it don't make sense for you to try to seduce women. You understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of it's going to be a waste of time in most cases. And what's going to happen is that if you're not good at seducing women, all that's going to happen is that she'll entertain your seduction, but she is going to just use that as entertainment for her. You understand what I'm saying? Because she's going to look at you like, oh, look at this dude thinking he could, talk his way into my panties. And she's going to play a game with you. She's going to soak in all that attention, which is going to boost her up even more, right? Because she's going to feel like, oh, look at this guy sweating me. And that's just going to make her feel even more confident, even at the same time, while she's not really trying to fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just going to be a lot of times going to be more a waste of time in certain situations. See, seduction really is not about trying to get the girl who is showing disinterest to fuck with you. The best time to seduce a woman really is when you see that she is interested, but she's being hesitant. You understand what I'm saying? So like, let's say, for example, you talk to a girl and you're trying to holler at her, and let's say she says something like, oh man, if I didn't have a boyfriend, I'll be all over you right now. That's the type of girl you want to seduce. You understand what I'm saying? Not a girl saying, oh, I got a man, I don't want to talk to you. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the thing, is that you want the best chicks to actually seduce are the ones who are showing they have interest, but there's just resistance there. Not necessarily the girls who are resisting because they're not interested in you. You see what I'm saying?
I agree. I totally agree. Men have it all backwards now. Like you said, they're so thirsty, and oftentimes guys don't want to play the numbers game, as you say. They focus on one or two chicks, and when they don't get the way, they get all emotional per se.
Nah, real talk.
So, yeah, I totally agree with you on that stance. As a matter of fact, just going back to Friday, I was talking to a chick, and she said that she doesn't have time to date now. I just said, hey, have a nice day. I didn't say, oh, like, why not?
Right.
I just move on.
Right.
You move on and find other chicks.
Yeah, because there's so many women out there. It's like, a lot. It's a waste of time to try to, make or try to get the girl who's not showing interest to try to show. It's just like it's just a huge waste of time. You're going to find women who have a high interest or at least a medium interest to where they're showing some sort of interest, and you just got to sort of reel them in a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate the call, brother. All right.
Peace.
All right. All right, so let me get my dude Chizzy City to call up. Let me get Chizzy City to call up. Wait for Chizzy City to call up. Listen, if you trolls want to talk for a while, y'all can send a donation. You feel what I'm saying? Yo, what's poppin'? Who this?
Yo, what's good? Chizzy City.
What's going on, bro?
No, man. Yo, the live I did last night, man, you got that banged up job, man. I never seen a live that much packed full of players and full of wise coaches in my life, bro.
That's what's up. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. And yo, just one more time, I'm on a Patreon right now that coronavirus, how to get women to your place without going on dates.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, dude, y'all missing out. You're not on Patreon, go get on it right now, because ever since I take that, I've been getting a lot of dates almost on a weekly basis.
Right. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, man. But I have two things on that I ask you about. These my call, because the thing is that, like I told you, I've been dating more than one chick at a time throughout the week, and I've been smashing them almost every week now. So my thing, I'm trying to create a fuck buddy situation. The thing is that the sex is good, you know, for most of these chicks I'm dealing with right now, but you know, all of a sudden, when I was trying to set them up, you know, to see them again, you know, like getting no text back, so nothing, so it was just then I had to delete the number and just drop it to the game. So it's always been that way with the new chicks, and I was trying to figure out like, why is that the reason that happened like that? Like, it's a thing because it's just for them, they're thinking like, oh, it's just one time thing and that's it, or.
So you're saying that you would hit these chicks up and then they wouldn't respond, and then you would just call it a day with them, and then so you're asking why they wouldn't respond? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like say like I was like doing my own thing, and then about like a couple of days, like maybe like 4 or 5 days later, I hit them up and see what they're up to. So I can make a plan to keep it going. But they didn't touch me back. And then, for example, this one white chick I was dating about last weekend, the weekend before last weekend. So we went out to the park, and we came back to my crib and smashed. And then, you know, it was good. I told her that, hey, I call you, you know, get together next week, so I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call sometime next week. Right. So I gave her a text, and she didn't hit me back, and that was on a Wednesday. So I was like, okay, let me just wait for a couple of days, maybe like to a Friday, I hit her up. Then I hit her on Friday, I let her know that, hey, just so you know, it's been a while since we talked, but just so you know, like if I don't get a text back, you won't hear from me. So I took that on, and she hit me back on Saturday or Sunday, so I could delete her number. But like I said, it's always been that way for all these chicks I've been seeing and smashing. So there may be reason why, you know, that happens. So,
Oh, so you're saying like, why does that happen? Where you smash, and then sometimes they just don't get back to you, and then it's kind of like it takes them a while to get back to you and all that other shit.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. The thing that guys gotta understand about women nowadays, and you know, their feelings about this has always been this way, but nowadays it's, you know, they can act on it a little bit more, is that women like to hook up and have sex and just keep it casual just as much as we do. Right? Now, what happens though is that you know, those girls are always they're still getting hit up and bombarded by a bunch of other dudes. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is, you know, you might have a girl where one, she may have just wanted to hook up with you, and that's pretty much it for that one time. That's one reason. Two, she hooked up with you, but it was like okay, it wasn't all that to her. You know what I'm saying? So she's like, he's all right, but it ain't, you know, ain't the best thing ever. Three, she has a main dude, meaning not necessarily a dude who's a boyfriend, but she already has a guy who is you know, the main guy that she's been fucking with before she met you, so he maybe has priority. So like, you understand what I'm saying, in her mind or whatever. So there's all those different reasons as to why you know, the chick doesn't really get back to you in those situations. But this is why you gotta keep just talking to different women and not really sweating these chicks too much. So yeah, you could be like, hey, you know, you could hit them up again, be like, yo, what's up? Let's get together again, right? And you know, and if she doesn't hit you back, you know, don't think too much of it. Now, what you did was the ultimatum joint where you tell her, hey, look, I ain't gonna hit you up after this, and then she hit you back right after that. And what happened?
Oh no, she didn't hit me back at all.
So she didn't hit you back at all when you said, if I don't hear from you after this, we done? She didn't hit you back?
No, she didn't hit me back.
Okay, good. So then she's done. It's over. Charge to the game. You know what I'm saying? I thought you said she hit you back, but yeah, she's done. You understand?
But now she didn't hit me back, so I can leave her number and like be saying, hey, it's what it is, man. I have a great time, but you know, on to the next one. Right,
exactly. You just move, just keep it moving, because that's already a clear indication that she ain't really trying to make nothing happen, because you let her know, hey, listen, if I don't hear from you, I'm gonna keep it moving, and she didn't hit you back. So that's a clear way of like, yo, we're done. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. And it doesn't bother me that much that happens anyway, because the reason why I did it, because I already have like 2 girls on standby for this weekend anyway. So like you've been telling me earlier, even though this stuff like this happened for a reason, like you said, they have a main dude, a good boyfriend, or you know, the sex wasn't that great or whatever.
Right.
Whatever it may be, then I'm already not sweating too much. I'm already out. I'm out on a date, never going outside in the park and trying to holler at chicks. But it was just something that I need to know, because for me, like I'm trying to build a team for the first time to get used to like getting that experience.
Oh yeah, because what you're doing already is good. You just, you know, keep hitting them up, keep, you know, fucking with them, going out there, you know, hooking up, and the ones who want to make it happen again, they'll make it happen again. There's always gonna be chicks who's gonna fall off. It's in at every situation. There always could be a fall off. You understand? So even before you go on a date with a chick, she could fall off by flaking. You know, even when you you know, talk to a girl on a dating app, you know, you might send her a message, she may never message you back. You understand? You might smash a chick and then she may never call you again. It's just that shit happens. So this is why you got to keep playing that numbers game, so that you get the women who actually want to keep it going. So, and the thing is, usually a good rotation is like, you know, 3 chicks, really. You know what I'm saying? 3 or 4 chicks. So that ain't hard to get. You feel what I'm saying? So once you get that cool little 3-4 chick rotation, you good, and you could still talk to more girls. You know what I'm saying? But then what's going to happen is you're going to always probably have to replace 1 or maybe 2 girls out that rotation and get new ones to replace them. But you know, it's just part of the game. You know what I'm saying?
All right, well, that's work then. You know?
Yeah, man, that's what it is. That's what it is, man.
I'm gonna give me get back on the finger. But one last question. Let me show one. I actually want to know what are the ways you can actually maintain erection.
Well, one, you gotta stop jerking off. You know what I'm saying, to porn and all that other shit, or just stop jerking off completely. You gotta get your blood flow going. You understand? So exercising, eating right, that type of shit will help it. And also having sex with girls that you're more like way more attracted to. You understand what I'm saying? So those are some things that could help. But either way, there are going to be times where, you know, the shit just ain't gonna happen because it ain't gonna happen. But if it's something that happens often, then, you know, it could be something that is, you know, you want to get checked out, because it could be either like a physical thing or a mental thing. So, but you got to know which one it is and figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Gregory Allen says sleep. Sleep could work. Exactly. Sleep is good too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, you know.
Right. Sometimes I'm thinking, the first thing you're right, I've been laying off for about 2 weeks already. But
right.
The guy's right. Who said in the comments, because I'm working on my business. I have 2 jobs right now. So last night when I had me a good night's sleep, I feel better, especially out of morning wood. So I gotta make sure I can prioritize sleep.
Right.
So that actually makes sense.
Right.
I like to cook and food.
Nah, that's what's up. That's what it is, bro. All right.
So I appreciate Appreciate you answering the phone, man. I'm gonna let you go. You go get on to these calls, man.
All right, bro. Appreciate the call, my brother. All right.
All right.
Peace. All right, hold. Let me get Aqua. Aqua, call back. Let me get Aqua on the phone. Hold on. Is this Aqua?
Yeah, it's Aqua, man. Hey, I just sent you a donation, bro. This no, talking my appreciation.
I appreciate it, man. What's good with you?
Hey, I want to continue something from last night, man.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Steve Dean was saying, why do men need other men to tell them how to be a man and follow a cult, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, he kind of contradicted himself.
Mm-hmm.
And let me explain why, because don't men who follow you and him and all dating coaches, is that the same thing of following guidance of other men to learn how to get women? So, for example, like with this child, he was saying, why do you keep saying these men are looking for other men to show them that, no, put yourself first, be red pill, and your purpose, that's why he said, why can't you be your own man? Why follow someone else?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the same thing. How come men can't be their own men? And why follow somebody else, teach them how to get women? That's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? You're still following men who are more experienced in something that can give you guidance on how to do something that you least experienced in. Don't that sound kind of contradictory?
No, it's not. I'm gonna tell you why it's not the same thing. The reason why it's not the same thing is because we're not telling you to join the dating coach gang. You understand what I'm saying? We're not telling you to. We're not saying, oh, this is the so and so gang, and y'all part of this gang, and we represent this set. We're not doing any of that shit. You understand what I'm saying? We give out information. You take the information, and then you use it to what you need to do it for. The thing with what you're talking about with MGTOW is that what happens is that y'all are identifying and joining a group for support. But as a man, you understand what I'm saying? You're supposed to be able to stand on your own too. That's the point. That's the difference. You see what I mean? So there's a difference between getting information and using that information to help build yourself up versus feeling like you need to be part of some sort of group or clique. You understand what I'm saying? In order to feel good about what the fuck you're doing. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't necessarily need to label yourself or be part of that shit. You see what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna say this. I think a lot of people get confused. MGTOW is not really a group per se. It's an ideology. It's a mindset. That's just like it's like being the alpha man. You know what I'm saying? It's a group as far as there are other men that's like you as far as that is that concerned. It's like me and you are in the same group as far as we're both black. You know, even though we're all individuals, but we are in the same African American. We're in the same group as far as race. So and we're brothers as far as like we're both black men. You know what I mean? So it ain't like we're in the same gang. It's just that we are in something that makes us similar. You know what I'm saying? As far as that's concerned, like with MGTOW was more like it's an ideology, but I just happen to talk to other guys who are with that same ideology. Not that we're in the same group, because some MGTOWs live different than I live. It's just the basics of what it means and the mindset. That's all it is. There ain't no clique or nothing like that. Stuff like that. It's just ideology.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It is a clique. It is cliquish because you can't equate it to race, because just because somebody's black doesn't necessarily mean we believe in the same ideology. You understand what I'm saying? So, but what I'm saying is that you're going towards a certain ideology. So that means just like when a person joins a gang or a clique or whatever, they're all on the same page. They abide by certain rules. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's a certain thing that is going with that. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of times what happens is people join the gangs and they join the cliques because they feel like they need that support from those people. Now, again, there ain't nothing wrong with that if that's how you need to, do the thing, but understand that's what it is. You see what I mean? That's part of it. So what I'm saying is that when it comes to MGTOW, and which again never made any sense to me, is what the acronym stands for, but what you should already have been in the first place, right? But
right, I agree. And
right,
I agree right. They did a lot of men, including myself, didn't have a sense of direction because we were talking good shit. But the word MGTOW, it just making the meaning visible. That's all it is. Because a lot of men didn't even know what it was. Because some men lived that way because they was already, raised that way, or they've been in situations that trained them to be that way. You know what I'm saying? So that way they was already doing it before they even knew what the word was.
Right. But also too, see, this is what I was talking about yesterday, is that what happens is that when you identify as that, right, what you do is you tie yourself to other things that give what you call yourself meaning. So for example, if I call myself a ladies' man, right, what does that mean?
For my definition, a man who's good with the ladies, who's very charismatic, who can easily get women more than the average guy.
Right. So if I call myself a ladies' man, that means that identity of a ladies' man is tied to dealing with women in the sense of women like me, women want to fuck with me, women interact with me in a certain way, show me a certain level of respect. So now if I identify as a MGTOW, what does that have to do with relation to women?
Well, okay, it's the same to Stephen D. Williams said. Stephen Williams said, he said, at the end of the day, it's not about these bitches, it's about you as a man. And the byproduct of that is that women will flock to you because you're doing what they're supposed to be. So that's basically, it's kind of similar because it's about, putting yourself first, being alpha, building your purpose, what you're supposed to do, and to stop making women your purpose, because that's how us men fucked up. That's how I fucked up. So it's basically saying, no, okay, all right. So now I understand. Put myself first, learn how to be happy, and learn how to make women my last priority, make myself my first priority. And then a byproduct of that is women will flock to me. It makes the same thing. It's not no women hating group. It's not about hating women, nothing like that. Because I don't fuck with men that hate women. I don't. You hate women, I cannot fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like even the MGTOW said that too. Go ahead.
No, but what I'm saying is that what brought you to become the MGTOW? That's what I'm saying. What?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you. I was telling you last time you cut me off because what made me MGTOW because I had a bad relationship. I had a heart broken and blah blah blah. And I went through the emotions. I went through the emotion, and I went through my red pill ways because I'm human. So we go through the emotions. So once I fully healed up. And I started to learn game from you, Macario, because I'm a fan of yours, because I'm a fan of your knowledge. And I realized, and also the fact that a lot of women nowadays ain't, relationship material, because with the slut thing and the hot girl summer and all that, and Twitter on Instagram showing their ass, a lot of women ain't working material. So you know what? Okay, I understand how they are. So I'm not gonna keep a woman in a relationship because most of them ain't worth it. I'm not saying there aren't good women out there. I'm saying the majority is not. So what we do is, while this shit is happening, while our society is at this current status, I'm gonna just put myself first, like I should have been doing. Focus on my goals. Focus on me. Do what makes me happy, as far as my own hobby. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what I'm saying? And then if the woman want to come along on a train, she can hop on. But if she hop on not, my train will still keep going. If it's going to stop at the stop, was I to get on? If not, okay, cool, I'm gonna keep going. So that's why I became MGTOW. It's because, like I said, a lot of women ain't worth it in a relationship.
So what? Okay, wait, let's stop right there for a second. What do you mean by a lot of women aren't worth it?
Our relationships, because, like I said, this our generation now with this, a slut of being, how can I say this? They're not being shamed, they're actually being praised. And women feel, since Megan Thee Stallion is doing it, or since Amber Rose doing it, I feel comfortable doing it. You know what I'm saying? And usually men don't want to be with women who act like that. I don't.
You don't want to be a woman who act like what?
Who act extra rags, who act slutty, who been Instagram twerking, showing their ass. I don't want to be with shit like that.
So let me ask you a question. Are you okay with being with women who are sluts but don't do that stuff in public?
Like you come on, like have threesomes behind closed doors.
Yeah.
If it's a relationship, I believe in I believe in being faithful. I'd rather do that nasty shit with me. Or say every once in a while she wants to have a threesome with everybody another girl. I mean, that's cool too. Now, if it's an open relationship like you have, then by all means, do what you do.
Right. So I'm trying to understand. So basically, what you're saying is it's not about her being a slut. It's about her being a slut in public. Is that what you're saying?
The being a slut in public, and also if she's having a bunch of like fucking multiple guys in private, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying, and she's with me, I can't deal with that. You gotta be faithful. Be faithful.
No, I'm not even talking about when y'all got. I'm not even talking about if you boyfriend and girlfriend. I'm talking about you meet a chick tomorrow, y'all start hooking up and dating, but she got 70 bodies on her.
Well, like I said, I'm not into relationships anyway, so I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck with as long as she's cool, and as long as she's down to earth and she's honest. I don't fuck with as long as she's responsible.
Right.
I fuck with her. And as far as I'm gonna keep it on a level 2, level 3 basis, which is level 2 is friends with benefits. Level 3 is just dating. It's not. It's like right below boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right. So you would never. So what you're saying is you're never ever gonna be in a boyfriend girlfriend or marriage type of relationship ever.
You know what? As of right now, no. I mean, 10 years from now, if the world becomes a better place, if human beings become better creatures, then maybe yeah. But right now, the world is fucked up, man. I mean, planet Earth.
But what? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. What's fucked up about, the world or situations with women where you would never have a girlfriend or a wife? That's what I want to know.
Because the same treat Lucario is just like the way human beings are set up, man. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I think I'm more of a good person than an average person because I'm just a good person. Not that I'm perfect, but I've seen so many videos of chicks sucking dick while on the phone with their boyfriends and getting fucked, having trains running on them. You know what I'm saying? And women are better liars than men. Women are worse thinking than men. And plus, society keeps this shit hidden. So it's like she can play that good girl. Yeah, I'm all that whole time. She might be a total fucking suck.
So wait, so let me ask you a question. So what does it mean to have a girlfriend or a wife? What does it mean? Like what would you consider being an ideal relationship between you and another woman as far as long-term girlfriend and boyfriend?
Ideal relationship? Okay, well, I see relationships and no relationships because they are normal. It's just part of human interaction. You know what I'm saying? As far as the basic stuff. I consider somebody that you share your companion with, somebody that you share, your life with, somebody that you emotionally invested into. You know what I'm saying? It's like you got your main chick, you got some other chicks, but your main chick is when you really have a more connection with. Somebody that you have a connection with. You know what I'm saying? Or if you have kids, you want to have a family. You know what I'm saying? Like the only way I'll be in a relationship with Cario is let I knock a chick up. Because I don't want my kids growing up with split parents. I don't want that. I want to grow up in the family. I didn't have
right. But this is what I'm asking though, because I'm saying if a girl is sucking dick, like crazy, what does that have to do with you and her actually be like? What I'm saying is, let's say you meet a girl named Tiffany, right? And Tiffany, when you met her, she was dating 2 other guys, and those 2 other guys be banging her out every fucking week while you're banging her out. You feel what I'm saying? So all 3 y'all's banging Tiffany out, and then let's say you've been chilling with Tiffany for like maybe a year and a half, consistently having sex. Everything is cool. She treats you right. Everything is on point. Would you make Tiffany your girlfriend?
If she's a faithful person, if she's responsible and clean, and if I'm into relationships, I don't see why not.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. But that's what I'm saying. This what I'm saying. What it goes back to what you were saying earlier, where you were saying, well, you would not be in no relationship. So I wanted to know why though, and all the reasons why you gave were sexual.
And not just that, and also look, Cario, say the truth. I don't trust a woman. I don't trust no woman with my heart anymore. I just don't. I'm not saying a woman up bad. I'm not saying it's the only one up there. I just don't. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like Omarion. I got a soft spot where my heart used to be.
Right.
Bro, I'm cold, bro.
I feel you.
So, and I don't look well. That's why I don't put my emotions into it no more. I don't think it personal.
I mean, that's good though. That's good. I mean, it shouldn't really. Right? Nah, I feel you on that. I feel you on that because I feel you on that because you don't need to make it into this like whole dramatic thing, and you know what I'm saying. But because see, the thing is that a lot of dudes, I feel like what happens is because what you were saying, you was like, damn, well, the world is fucked up and chicks are crazy and all this other stuff, right? But
compared to back in the day, yeah.
Right, but the thing is that when it comes to you being with a woman, it's not that a chick has to be coachable. This is what I've been talking about in my program, meaning that you could take a chick who had no body counts or a chick who had 30 to 50 dudes or whatever, based off of how coachable she is and based off of how good she takes direction and how much she can follow your lead, you could turn any of them chicks into a chick who would be an actual good girlfriend or wife, because having a girlfriend and wife extends beyond just fucking. You understand what I'm saying?
I said that.
Right.
And sharing emotions with, and sharing a life with. Right. I said that. Right. Of course.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Right.
So do you believe, and be honest with me, Lucario, you will with me. Do you believe that you can turn the whole housewife?
Of course. Well, I'll answer it like this. I believe that 99% of housewives are hoes. That's what you understand what I'm saying? Like which women, this is what I'm trying to say. Where do you find these women who aren't hoes? That's always been my question. Where are they?
Maybe our grandmother generation.
Nah, even them, some of them are still, doing shit on the low. I'm just saying that I want to know, where are these women that guys are finding who are not fucking? That's what I want to know.
Well, it's not that you're not fucking, because personally, I would want somebody who's experienced. I'm not saying you gotta fuck 10 guys who's experienced. You know what I'm saying? And also, Lucario, my way of thinking, or where I look at the game, is so advanced. I don't even care about a chick's past. You know what I'm saying? I don't ask that. But my thing is, because I didn't exist with her, I didn't exist in that time period with her. So the only time I exist with her is right now and beyond. What we do right now and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we all got a past. You got a past, but we all make dumb mistakes, right?
Right.
Sometimes we linger on it and we feel bad. I did. But my thing is, did you learn from it? Did you improve? Did you evolve? Are you a better person? It's like, for example, like a chick can be the guy who's cool as fuck, right? But say years ago, he was a lame ass nigga, he did lame shit, you know what I'm saying? His social skills weren't all that, and his skills with women weren't all that. But say if he took the time out and took some self-evaluation and accountability, and like, you know what, maybe it's something I'm doing wrong, let me work on myself, and he actually evolved, become a better person, and then now he's a cool dude. So in that situation, it shouldn't matter what he was in the past, because he changed. It matters with right now. Is it cool right now? Is he on the ship right now? Is his mind right now? You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So let's take right now and move forward, because the past is over. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter anymore. You see what I'm saying? So the past is over.
No, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is, men use that same logic, but then they equate it to sex, though. You understand what I'm saying? They'd be like, "Oh, well, you was fucking and sucking and all this shit in the past. Now I'm gonna need you to fucking, repent for all them dicks you was sucking." And like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I mean? Because what you're saying is, in your example, yeah, this guy was fucking up. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning he was fucking up his life, right? But that has nothing to do with sex or equate with sex unless you were having sex recklessly. You see what I mean? So unless you was having sex recklessly, that's one thing. But if you meet a woman who got 80 bodies under her belt, but she's ain't got no STDs, she's been protecting herself, everything is cool, then she good to go. You know what I'm saying? The problem is that guys, they think that there's these different types of women. You got the one woman here who only had sex with one guy, and the one woman who has sex with 80 dudes, and they think that the woman who had sex with 80 dudes is not going to be able to be in a long-term relationship. You understand what I'm saying? Which is false.
Well, that's what guys think because we think that because if she fuck 80 dudes, I mean, you know, obviously she let 80 dudes, she gave 80 dudes a chance for that cooch. So it's like, you know, who's to say she won't somehow just be faithful over such. I'm not saying it ain't possible.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But see that don't make no sense. How are you equating faithfulness to a situation where she didn't have to be faithful? You understand what I'm saying? It's like this. If I say to you, you know, let's say we best friends and shit and all that, right? And I say to you, yo, come through to the crib, right? And every time I say to come through to the crib, I say, come to my crib 5 o'clock. And sometimes you come 5 o'clock, sometimes you come 5:15, sometimes you come 4:45, right? That's like you going in for a job and they say, well, you know what? We were gonna hire you, Aqua, but we noticed every time when Locario said to come to his house, you came to his house you know, late sometimes, right? And you're gonna be like, what the fuck they gotta do with me coming on time at work? Because I didn't need to come to Locario's house on time. You understand what I'm saying? There was no contract between me and him where we had to come to his house on time. You understand what I'm saying?
Which is true, but it's the same. Now, you know how some jobs will ask about your previous job, and sometimes some jobs actually call you previous job and ask about you. They do that. You know that, right?
Right, but that right. But well, do you call the girl who had sex with 80 dudes? Do you call her previous boyfriends?
Previous boyfriend? No.
That's what I'm saying. You don't. All you know is that she fucked 80 dudes. All 80 of those guys could have just been guys she was fucking. So she can't cheat on someone if she's not in a committed relationship with them. So you can't equate. Huh?
I get that. I wouldn't say the reason why most of us think that because since you let 80 dudes fuck, you know what I'm saying? Say she's in a relationship, she might, it's a possibility, she might be easily to let someone else hit her because she so used to fucking so many guys, even though she was in a relationship, she might easily step out on him. I'm not saying she. But
that's what I'm saying. That's an insecurity on the dude's part. Because once you make a contract and say, hey, we're a verbal contract of we're together, we only fucking each other now, we're in a monogamous relationship, she honors that contract. That has nothing to do with the 80 niggas she fucked from before. See, y'all be thinking just because the chick fucked a whole bunch of dudes, that means that she can't stop fucking dudes. You understand what I'm saying? The reason why she was fucking all those dudes was because she wasn't in no contract with no nigga, that it's only her and him. That's what y'all, that's the part dudes don't get.
Okay, well, for me, this is why I don't ask about any guys this level. This is why I ask a chick. I say, do you have experience? Are you experienced? Okay, that's all I need to know. As long as you experience, I don't care with your skill level because we can work on that. And I'm not gonna tell you my skill level. There's no you experience. I've had sex before, so if you know what we're doing, let's butter bing, butter boom. I don't care about the past.
Right.
Like I said, I didn't exist. As long as you don't have an STD, as long as you don't have no crazy ex-boyfriend trying to see who you date, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? When your past, can come to your crust, can come back to haunt you or can follow you. Then that's the past. That's why the old saying goes. What you don't know won't hurt you, right?
Right.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It's best to not just know.
Yeah, I mean, some guys want to know. I'll be like, fuck it, don't tell them, don't ask. But
just don't ask the question.
Right. No, I feel you.
She's a cool person. You know what I'm saying? And it don't matter. It don't matter if I'm the past nigga. It don't matter who's the past nigga or the future nigga. It matters I'm the current nigga.
I feel you.
I'm the current nigga right now. So let's just do what we do right now. Because it's like we mix down what people say. It's not yours. It's just your turn. And that's the truth because your wife or your girlfriend will leave you today and tomorrow, yo.
I agree. I totally agree.
It ain't always done to you part. Sometimes it ain't no time to you no more. So it says right now, it's just your turn. It just happens to be long as fuck.
Right.
That's all.
Nah, I feel you. But yo, man, I appreciate the call, my brother. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to holler at you, man. All right, be safe. All right. So shout out to everybody sending them donations. Hold on 1 second. Yo, what's poppin'? Who this?
Yo, Carl, you there, bro?
Yeah, what's going on?
Kelly Moore, bro.
What's poppin' with you, man?
I'm pretty damn good, bro. Hope everything's good with you, bro. That was a damn fire ass live stream last night. One of the best I've seen.
That's what's up, bro.
That's one of my top likes, though, bro.
That's what's up.
I know you got other callers in the car. I just want to call in real fast because that was a very interesting conversation with you and the last caller, the mid-child dude.
Right.
You know, I've been through the worst of the worst with a lot of women. I'm pretty sure. I told you my situation about my ex 3 years ago. She was the reason why I came to your bad boy membership and shit. Though.
Right.
She lined up some dudes behind my back and shit, and got pregnant out that shit. And I don't normally share this. Too, Carl, or something else. I've been through like the worst of the worst. I don't normally share this, but it's like part of my past. Some girl falsely accused me for rape or some shit while I was in college playing ball and shit.
You said it again?
I don't normally share this, but it's like part of my past. It happened to me a few years ago. Some girl falsely accused me for rape while I was playing ball in school and all that shit.
Right.
And I even had a previous relationship where I found out the girl was like fucking two dudes and shit. So I've been through the worst of the worst, with some women and all that shit though. So I think what's going on with the last caller is that it's not necessarily mid-child. They're seeing it as an ideology. They're letting one experience hold them back.
Right.
Though. Because if I would have let those experiences I had, and like I've been through the worst of the worst, and I had let those experiences, made me come to a certain point like, damn, I can't take this shit with women anymore. It's just like they fucked up. I think girls line up with rape these girls cheating. Mine definitely got a reason to go mid-child. Right. But apparently it ain't the reason why I go mid-child. I just looked at the shit, especially after being on your membership. Shit is like, you know what? Let me sit back and learn from this shit. And see what. Let's sit back and learn from this shit. And had I not done that shit, I never my success rate with women now, especially the girl I'm dating now. She's helping me out with like my football shit, and especially with all this coronavirus shit going on. Had I not found her, had I been gone mid-child. That's all I'm saying. Right. I think what's going on with this mid-child shit is that motherfuckers letting it be an excuse, because they're looking at all the negative aspects of how women work. No, it's not the fact that all women are bad or any of that shit though. You met a lot of fucked up women. They all like that. Right. And in order for you to find a decent woman, your game gotta be that. See, if you know the game, you know what decent women are. That's what the fuck is going on. Well, I just want to give my input on the last what we call it, but like I said, I've been through the worst of the worst, so that's definitely no fucking excuse at all. So I think we should be going mid-child in town. And you're talking to a guy who's been through the worst of the worst with women. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just it's just a thing of like at the end of the day, standing on your own shit. Because again, a lot of times when you're holding on to a certain situation and then you latch onto some sort of identity of, oh, this is what I'm about. This is the thing that I live by because of this thing that happened. And now you're so caught up in that situation, which also ties you back to the shit that you were running away from, or the thing that you see what I'm saying? So it's about becoming free to be yourself and express yourself and sort of be able to handle in those situations and deal with those emotions that came with those situations and get through that and get better so that you can, keep moving on and doing bigger and better things in life. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you adhering to this one thing, then you got all these different versions of the thing, and then this person saying this person saying that, and then you say I'm part of this thing, and then now you're like, oh, I don't agree with that, and it's just a whole bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying? So well, I think it's an ego thing. I think that's the problem with most guys is a fucking ego thing. And ego stops you from growing. Right. Actually, though, like when you was talking about like I don't want to have women with a high fucking body count and shit though. First of all, a woman that has a high body count with you, that's none of your damn business. Right. So, like, if she's with you, who gives a damn? Right. Being single and being in a relationship are two completely fucking different things. So I think a lot of guys get this ego thing, like, nah, I don't want to be with see, that's the problem. A lot of these guys work on their ego, and if you don't stop working on your ego, it's going to stop you from growing. And I think that the problem with mid-child is that motherfuckers argue to be right instead of arguing to understand and all that shit. So let your ego go at first. But I know you have the calls in line, Carl. I gotta hit you with that little donation too, bro. All right, man. Appreciate you, bro. All right, man. I'm holla. All right, man. I'm holla. Peace. All right. I'll take a few more calls.
Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Before I get to the next call, hold on. Before I get to the next call, let me shout out to the people who send donations. Shout out to James Kirby with the donation. Shout out to Jason Wright, Sean Crocker. Shout out to you. Shout out to Chio Dozy. Shout out to you. Chrislyn. Shout out to you. Who else? Shout out to Dasan. Shout out to my dude Kelly Moore for the donation. So shout out to everybody who is sending donations. Appreciate all y'all. Remember, all the donations help keep this going, which is why I'm able to do all these live streams and just keep this shit popping. You feel what I'm saying? So we're gonna keep it going. Yo, what's popping? Who this? Yo. Yo. Yo, what's going on? You hear me? Oh, y'all bugging out. You.
Yo, French. How you doing?
What's going on?
I'm cool, man. I just thought I would just chime in a little bit with the whole body count.
Right.
My stance has pretty much changed through kind of following your work. And I used to be one of them guys that were like, you know, she has to have like -10, like body count sort of thing. Like, otherwise, I won't even take it serious. But now it's kind of like, I'm a lot more humble. And we're all human. Like, I think a lot of guys, they sort of, I don't know, they don't really see what's in front of them. They don't see that there's a human in front of them and like we've got our own kind of agency to do what we want.
Right.
And I think like that kind of mindset is really dangerous, really bad, and it causes a lot of like, you know, it causes that guy like high and it causes the girl like unnecessary sort of stress. My mum in particular, like what kind of changed my mindset was she's a very good wife, very the kind of woman that you probably preach about, like wiping up to like guys like us who want to find like a long-term kind of partner. But even she was quote unquote like, oh, if you think about it, because I have a half sister from before she met my dad. Right. But I've seen my mum growing up and everything, and like, you know, she's done all a woman should in sort of like that kind of situation, as a wife, as a girlfriend, whatever. So it's kind of like I'm a hypocrite if I start, you know, judging girls in that kind of way. And my mum and other women are the same. Like we're all humans and we're all sexual creatures. Right. So you know, I just think like a lot of people are just hypocritical and stuff, and they don't see the big picture. I think they're just in their egos. I've dropped my ego and I feel a lot more freer. Like my seagulls, I don't have any kind of hang-ups. I don't think like, okay, this girl's seen this guy or she's seen this and that guy. I just enjoy the moment sort of thing. So I think my focus is just like kind of being a charismatic person, putting myself first, you know what I mean? Like looking beyond just the sex and just trying to be someone that, you know, is kind of beyond that. I think if the mindset is just like trying to get pussy, then all these kind of questions and these kind of insecurities come out. But for me, I just want to be a person that's like high value and, you know, just, you know, yeah, that's it, man. Like I think a lot of people are just in their egos and they don't see the big picture and stuff. And that woman they're looking for that's like got zero body is impossible. So
right. I mean, and that's the thing is like, you know, it's the ego that makes you feel certain types of ways about certain things. And again, you know, a lot of it too is you got to understand there's so much things that are out of your control. So, you know, because I'm like, if dudes are out here trying to get with women and they're talking to different girls, they're out here dating, you know what I'm saying? Like 99% of the girls you run across are going to have, you know, a past where they was fucking around with dudes. You understand what I'm saying? Especially nowadays where it's so easy to get sex nowadays. You understand what I'm saying? It's so easy. You know, we got Tinder, Bumble, OkCupid, all these dating apps, Instagram. You have, you know, shit like Instagram and shit like Facebook. You know, it's and chicks are the culture is a little bit more supportive of women being promiscuous anyway. So of course they're out there, you know what I'm saying, like going ham and doing a bunch of shit. So the thing is that it's not about worrying about all those other aspects. It's about when you're dealing with a girl, is she doing the things that she needs to be doing when she's with you? You understand? Is she treating you the way you need to be treated? Is she doing right by you? You understand? Is she respecting you? Is she cooperating? Is she doing those things? Then you're good. All the other extra stuff, you can't you're not going to know anyway. Like no one is going to really, like most women aren't going to tell you anyway. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, there's no point in really even worrying about it. It's just, is she doing the thing she needs to do in the situation? That's it.
And I'll also say as well, like in my personal experience, like, you know, it's to a point where, you know, when I'm dealing with a girl and it's not exclusive, I'm just open about the girls I see. And I let her be open about the guys that she sees. Like, obviously, when she's with me, like, obviously, you don't be out here freaking telling me your stories and stuff. But, like, I let her go through my phone, whatever. I don't really care. Like, I've got nothing to hide, sort of thing. And just from being free, I feel like you unlock something different from that chick. Like, she sees you way different from other guys. And, like,
oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
A lot of these guys are missing that. But one question I'll say is I have heard a lot of things about, quote unquote, the imprint. I think that could be something that confuses some guys about like body counts and stuff. I don't really know what to say about that or what to think, but like that's maybe something that gets certain guys like confused. Right.
I think what it is see the imprint isn't necessarily just about sex though. You see what I mean? So what I mean is that like it's like what it is when a woman, let's say for example, a woman when she was, I don't know, 16 years old, 17 years old, right? And let's say in her family, you know, she was around guys who look like fucking husky linebacker football player type of dudes, right? So like, let's say her uncles look like that. So then based on her seeing her uncles look like that, she may have an attraction for guys outside her family who look like that because she's used to seeing that in her home. So now she may end up dating a guy who looks like that, right? And then experiencing dating with that dude or that type of guy with that type of energy. And then so that's usually that will become her type in a sense. You see what I mean? So that's just a simplified way of looking at it. But it's not necessarily just where some like a random dude just had sex with her and then that random guy, you know what I'm saying, is right, you know what I mean? Because the thing is, you could a chick could have sex with a dude, and it could have been her first sexual experience, and she didn't like it. You understand what I'm saying? So he didn't really have any like actual effect on her just through the sex act. You see what I'm saying? It's more so it's more so of how she felt with that interaction with whoever she was dealing with, and also it's based off of her attraction to certain types of dudes, but her attraction to certain types of dudes also is based off of either her culture, her family, what she's been exposed to. All those things come into account. So it's so the attraction comes into account of all the things that make up her environment and all the things she's experienced. Then she gets with that type of guy. That type of guy does whatever with her, and then now she's into sort of that type of energy. You understand what I'm saying? Right. So it's not simply just some random dude smashing her. You know what I mean? It's a lot of other factors.
Okay, man. I'll round up by just saying that, like, last year as well, like, you did a video a while back about people that are like uncoachable, and I feel like these sort of conversations are because the guys that aren't coachable, like people just want to listen. So I'll just say, like, focus on them that are open-minded and those that want to listen. I'm just keeping your thing, man. I respect your work. So
that's what's up, bro. I appreciate the call, my brother. All right.
Cheers, bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.
All right, people. It's about that time. A brother got to head up out of here. It's about that time. So listen, if you sent the donation, I didn't get to your call. Tomorrow, hit me up. And appreciate everybody who sent the donations. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com to join the Bad Boy membership. I saw somebody just joined the Bad Boy membership while I was online. So I'm gonna send you the information as soon as I get off here. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to you guys rocking with me and all that other good stuff. Excuse me. So I'll be back tomorrow and I will holler at you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm out of here. Later.